What's going on YouTube? So I want to explain my train horn electrical system on my 2019 Chevy Silverado HD, and the horn blasters I got is the Horn Blasters Conductor Special 844 Nightmare Edition with the Shocker XL 6 horn upgrade. So when I started off, I needed to figure out how I'm gonna route everything up, get my mount and everything. So I basically started off with a blueprint for my electrical, and this is it right here. So looking at this, got the horns, solenoid valve, tank, compressors, relays. The way I wanted to run it is basically be able to turn on the power for the compressors and then switch over from my factory horn to the actual horn, the Horn Blasters kit. This is my electrical blueprint. So we got the battery going, feeding the relays, then which in turn turns on the both compressors. Then the power switch. So from here, as soon as I click on the switch here, it'll turn on the relay. The pressure switch will notice that it needs air and then turn on the compressors. The horn switch, I had to throw in another relay inside the engine bay, and whenever I click this, it'll go from the steering wheel, then switch over to the solenoid valve on the Horn Blasters kit, and then whenever I push my horn on the steering wheel, it'll light off the train horns. But this is my electrical blueprint. You guys want to take a picture, this worked for me, and then let's go over and show you my setup. All right, so looking back at the truck, you're gonna see the tank sticking out from the bottom. I'm okay with that. I made a custom bracket to house 6 of the horns with the compressors. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, this is my first time doing any metal work. I powder coated the bracket, the receiver hitch, and the tank, and this is the view from underneath the truck. Now, I didn't know there were gonna be different sizes, like it was gonna be offset. I thought they were gonna all be like symmetrical, but it's okay. I worked with what I got. And so moving along, I put a hole right here so I could run the air lines. This is the solenoid valve that goes from here all the way to this side of the tank. As you can see, this one I capped off. This is the pressure relief, and then this is the pressure gauge. It's empty right now. I want to do a test and see how long it will take. This is an 8-gallon tank, so I don't know how long it takes to fill from 0, so we're gonna test that out. Did my relays right over here, and the compressor power wire, the grounds, everything. I grounded everything to the solenoid valve. One whole bunch of grounds right here, and on this side you have a couple of wires like right over here. This one activates the compressors. This one right here activates the horns. The compressors are out of the way. Got plenty of clearance on this side, but going on this side, it runs pretty close to the exhaust. So what I did was I just wrapped with heat wrap my exhaust whenever it goes into regen. So, but this hose it's not too bad. Whenever it goes into regen, it's not burnt or anything, so it's pretty good. The horns are extremely loud. So when I was making this bracket, I was running into this issue right here. It was super close to this bracket, so there was a lot of mocking up with cardboard, mounting it up, seeing if it would fit, but it ended up working out. The horns are pretty close to the differential, but when it's maxed out, I think I have some space to work with. So Eventually I'm gonna get a lift, so I won't have to worry about that. Ran the electrical right over here and then ran it to the front of the truck. So what I did from the train horns, I just ran it underneath the frame rail following on an existing wire harness. Went down, ran it right there, as you can see the wire loom. Went all the way down and then ran it through a grommet underneath the driver's side. So this wire goes to the horns to actuate it, and then these three other wires goes to the engine bay. And I just ran it up the fender well, going up right up there. So looking in the engine bay, the wires go up right here, and I put the relay for the horns. So I ran those wires, put the fuse, is a 35-watt fuse, ran it to the battery, and then ran a ground, and then just underneath, just behind the headlight is the horns, and then I just tapped into there. So that's all the electrical in the engine bay, and now inside I had to run another relay and some switches. As you can see, you know, I just use the cigarette lighters. I don't ever use them, so I just works just like that. 22mm push button. I believe that they're not intermittent, but push button switches whenever I put it on. This is for my compressors, and then this is to switch over from the steering wheel, and then now would be the train horns. Now I had to run a 12-volt power source, and what I did was I went into over here. Well, let me open this up real quick. All right, so looking inside here, there was a spot where it was on accessory whenever the key was in, so I just tapped into there, ran the wires all the way underneath my dash, and then into the center console. All right, so right now we're gonna go and see how long the tank takes for it to fill. So right now both of them are off, so let me start up the truck. As you can see, none of them are illuminated, so the horn switch, whenever I click this, now I could use the train horns, right? So right now I have regular horn. I click this. Since there's no air in the tank, you shouldn't hear anything, but you could hear the solenoid valve engaging. So right now, as soon as I push this, we're gonna see how long the 8-gallon tank takes with dual compressors. All right, from inside the cab, you can't really hear it. I could hear it, but I mean, when I'm driving with music, you can't really hear it. So let's hop out and see how loud it sounds outside. As you can see, it's starting to fill up. These compressors are not loud at all. They're super quiet. They're super quiet. And from what I was testing before, it doesn't take that long to fill up. So let's see how long it takes. So one thing that I was running into is that I wanted to test the solenoid valve, and whenever I hooked up the positive and negative to a battery, you know, it worked. I checked the relays worked, but whenever I wanted to test it without the switches hooked up yet, nothing would work. So I basically had to hook up all my electrical, and then everything started to work. I know I've seen some other videos where people they're hooking up everything up and then nothing's working, but you have to hook up everything on the Horn Blasters kit in order for the compressors to kick on and for the horns to work. Also, another issue that I was running into is if this 8-gallon tank would fit on my truck. So as you can see, I have pretty good clearance. You know, I don't have any rubbing issues over here or on the other side. So the 8-gallon fits on Duramax, and I know Horn Blasters only go up to a 5-gallon tank for the Goliath mount, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the 8-gallon tank will definitely fit. It's going above 150. There it is. So from 0 to 151, I'd say, takes 5 minutes and 44 seconds. All right, so now you guys seen all of that. Now let's go test out the horns. All right, so I'm driving right now, leaving my neighborhood because I don't want to piss off my neighbors. So right now, as you can see, the compressor is only turned on. Right now I only have my stock horn, so that works. So I'm gonna turn that on. So now the train horns are activated. So I got all my windows down right now, and from inside the truck it is super loud. Here it is. I'd say that's pretty loud. I'm gonna keep on driving so I don't piss off everybody in my neighborhood. So let's lower down the windows. Out these horns with all the windows down. Yeah, they're really loud. The 6 horns definitely makes a difference versus the 4 horns from what I've seen in other videos, but these 6 horns are extremely loud. I haven't tested it outside the vehicle, but it is really loud. Let's try it again. This is with the windows up. Yeah, you can definitely hear them. If you have any questions about all the electrical or how I mounted it up, just leave a comment. I'll let you know, and please like and subscribe my video. Thanks.